CORD leaders say dialogue to end the IEBC stalemate is still taking shape and a number of outstanding issues have been addressed.
These engagements have not collapsed. From our standpoint, we believe that 70% of the sticking points have been agreed upon, including the size of the committee, the independence of the committee, timelines, and the subject matter.
The CORD coalition had yesterday announced the formation of a much smaller 4-member team, bringing together 2 members from either side, Jubilee and CORD, and that was tasked with smoothing the bumps. That is, the concerns that CORD had raised before they could take part in the talks to resolve this IEBC crisis. Jubilee yesterday said they were not aware of any such smaller committee.
What was the response from Jubilee? It's all there in clearly written that no instructions were forthcoming, that this was an imagination by CORD, because these 4 individuals were supposed to narrow the gap and come up with a program. Again, in negotiations, nothing is really agreed until it is agreed. So although there's that ground that has been covered, we stress here lack of political good faith.
CORD still wants a process not dictated or led by Parliament. They also want a secretariat not controlled by Parliament. On this, there hasn't been any agreement.
We recognize the steps made by Jubilee so far, but they are not enough for purposes of ensuring that the success in reforming the IEBC is guaranteed.
Similar concerns echoed by members of the civil society and NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua, who say the desired outcome will not be achieved if talks are limited to political parties.
In this proposal, we draw inspiration from the Bishop Sulumeti-led committee, which crafted the Constitution of Kenya Review Act of 1998. This will ensure that once the talks are convened, the plenary should be able to elect its own chair, determine its procedures, and draft the necessary legislation.
Who convenes? If Jubilee and CORD are coming, who is going to be the chair? Who is going to be the umpire to ensure that rules are enforced? And our position on that is we are saying we want 2 national moderators.
Both Jubilee and CORD are in agreement to trim the number of participants in the discussion. Jubilee also considered that the 2 speakers of the National Assembly and the Senate will not take part in the discussions, but specified that their role would be to oversee the committee's acts in accordance with the standing orders and the Constitution.
We have agreed with them on the number of negotiators. We'll leave it at that. Once we agree, we will be able to release our names.
And despite their expressions of confidence that talks were on course, the CORD leaders also announced that their weekly demonstrations are still on. Both sides have agreed on the time frame for the discussion. Sheila Sendeyo, NTV.